Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. Automated market makers are live, but use caution. We have something to tell you today. And we also have the SEC versus Ripple SEC files documents under seal. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, it is $2.59 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is flat at the moment. 64,600 plus for Bitcoin, and we see 3,300 plus for Ethereum. $104 billion plus market cap for Tether. XRP at the number 6 spot at 61 cents. 0.2 up on the 24-hour and off by 1.7 on the 7-day. The range of price very quickly between 60 and 62 cents right now. We'll keep an eye on it. It's calmed down from where it was over the last day or so with that 10-cent range we had. But I know we're all excited to see XRP get it up and go to the moon. Let's do this thing. I know I'm excited too, but until we get there, look, and I do believe we're close to getting there. And I want to tell you, XRP Las Vegas is going to be the place where you're going to want to celebrate when it starts moving again. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be so much to learn because automated market makers went live yesterday, and there's already a lot of confusion about how to do it. And the best way to get the information is directly from the source. And imagine what we're going to learn between now and the next 40 days when you hear David Schwartz on stage talking about the ever-expanding ledger and all of the new features like automated market makers. Rachel Wolfson will be interviewing him as a fireside chat, and you're not going to want to miss it. Book your room at a discount right here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mess around. Look, it's a beautiful, beautiful facility with a lot to do. I mean, so much to do, you'll never have to leave. You can walk from your room right to the conference area. It is going to be a remarkable time. Let's start right here. We have a lot to go over. You know, we met Senator Grassley just the other night here. Digital asset investor and myself took the ride to D.C., and it's important because we wanted to make sure that ETHgate got out, and we have to thank Empower Oversight, Tristan Levitt and Jason Foster for inviting us to attend this event and be able to meet Senator Grassley and tell him about ETHgate, and he wants to learn more. But you know what? We want to help him because we were looking at his profile. He's at 907,000 followers. Can we get him to 1 million? I think we can do it. Let's help Senator Grassley get to 1 million followers, and let's try to do it by the next time we make a visit to Senator Grassley to follow up on what ETHgate really is so he can be truly informed. He absolutely wants to know exactly what's happening here, and we're going to make sure that he does. And we're doing this not just for Ripple and XRP, but because we won't stop working till we get a level playing field for all of crypto. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. And shout out to all of those people for being a part of it. This is a quick reminder that 167 billion plus in national debt in the last 20 days. Citadel CEO warns government spending at a borderline insanity. Yeah, we get that. IMF feels that way too. Meanwhile, the Unabomber prosecutor from the Unabomber case years ago, Robert J. Cleary, has been given the green light by the U.S. bankruptcy judge to probe law firm Sullivan Cromwell. Potential conflicts of interest in relation to FTX, according to Wednesday, a court filing. Okay, I like seeing that. Let's get to the bottom of it. And then there's this. How about this for a number? XRP's real trading volume surged to a whopping $25 billion in the last 48 hours. Now, that has got to have something to do with automated market makers, I would suspect. I can't prove it, but I would suspect it. But speaking of automated market makers, they in fact went live yesterday afternoon, and in moments, and I mean moments, shout out to XRP Scan, there were 5 instantly popped up. And I even saw the first one, but there were 5 that popped up. And then very quickly, not too long later, there is already more than 100 liquidity pools created. Shout out to Emma Yashikawa from Ripple. I mean, this was just a few hours later after what I just showed you, that 5 were created. This is how quickly this is going to grow. But listen, even David Schwartz has said to caution, if you make a single-sided deposit into an AMM, automated market maker, and by that he means like if you just put one thing in like XRP, you're supposed to split. So if you want to do an automated market maker, you're supposed to have half of one particular asset and half of another. So half XRP, half peso. Half XRP, half US dollar. You get the relationship now, right? You can't just put your XRP in, and you're about to find out why you don't want to do that. He goes on to say here, single-sided deposit into an AMM that doesn't have significantly more liquidity than the size of your deposit, you will take a loss in the deposit process. Whatever tool you're using typically warns you about this loss as a report of slippage. If you see a large amount of slippage, reconsider using something other than a single-sided deposit. You can also take a loss, though. Generally, it will be small if you deposit into an AMM that's significantly out of balance before you deposit. This should be less common because if the AMM stays out of balance, that means everyone is missing profit opportunity. In this case, you can do a single-sided deposit of the asset the pool has too little of and can make a profit on your deposit. So you can see how you could balance out the pool itself. So he says the safest approach is to deposit equal values of both assets to AMM trades, but small single-sided deposits into reasonably liquid AMM should also be fine. As AMM pools grow and more arbitrageurs trade against the pools, this risk should reduce. Pools will tend to be much more likely to be in balance, and greater liquidity will reduce slippage. Neil Hartner here says a nice client feature would be to compare a single-sided deposit to a DEX trade and double-side deposit. That is a nice feature that would be if they could put that in. Then advise you on the best option. Yeah, I love that, Neil. You go, man. Shit. David Schwartz says it should also compare to a DEX trade to buy the liquidity tokens. Right now, there aren't many DEX offers for liquidity tokens, but I expect that's just a matter of time. Absolutely. And then Information Trader says, what's the benefit of providing liquidity and taking risk of loss? And then David Schwartz says here, the benefit is that your loss due to price drops will be less, and you have the potential for gains from the continuous auction, which is where you're going to make the fees, market making and volatility harvesting. So that's where it's really just a different way of trying to get the return instead of just selling it and then having capital gains. This is a way for you to commit it to the pool, be issued liquidity tokens. Remember, once it's in the pool, it's in the pool, and it belongs to the pool until you decide to take it out. And then that ratio could change as they're discussing here. So make sure you really take the time to educate yourself in this. This is why I said I'm excited about them, but I don't want to be first because I know I don't know what I'm doing. I need to learn, right? And I'm learning right now along with all of you. Vet says here, and this is more information about what happens when you put in one-sided deposits. It says, for some reason, people keep single-side depositing XRP into pools, driving the XRP USDC price on the AMM down to 34 cents per XRP. So you see, when you keep putting XRP in the pool, you make it out of balance with USD, and you're driving the price of XRP down to 34 cents. So if the pool was properly balanced, the price of XRP would be what it currently is, or rate very close to that, right? So that's what we're talking about. So it's very, very key information to pay attention to. Now, let's switch gears and go to the SEC. There's been some filings here. Shout out to James Filan here. XRP community, SEC versus Ripple. The SEC has filed under seal its open remedies related brief and supporting documents. These documents are not public yet. Public redacted versions will be filed no later than Tuesday, March 26, 2024. So we have just a couple days before those redacted versions are put out to the public, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of information we're not allowed to see. And a reminder of that is this. Remember when we found out there was over 1,700 XRP contracts by Ripple, with one category being counterparties agreeing to sell XRP? That part we don't really mind about. They've sorted that out. But this is the part here. 1,700 XRP contracts into 4 primary categories, right? Contracts with each by which each Ripple transferred XRP directly to a counterparty, contracts by which Ripple counterparties agreed to sell XRP on behalf of Ripple over trading platforms, that could be exchanges, and contracts by which Ripple paid for various counterparty services XRP provided by Ripple, and miscellaneous contracts that do not fall into the first 3 categories. Now, what could those be, right? My goodness. I mean, what category, I wonder, did the option contract to R3 fall under? Right? So it's interesting, we don't know. And look, to Ripple's credit, they don't want this stuff revealed either. We're finding out about the SEC filing under seal, but remember, they just agreed to have joint sealed filings, right? So they both know there's stuff sensitive on both sides that they don't want out here. And to me, it's understandable that Ripple, as a business, does not want their strategies revealed to their competitors. And I would also imagine that some of those 1,700 contracts could be pre-allocated option contracts, just like the one R3 had. But now imagine knowing that Ripple is working with over 50 governments. How many of those have contracts? Was R3 the only one smart enough to have a pre-allocated option contract? I don't think so. When I think about this stuff, I'm reminded of something very, very core that I used to say. Let me show you this first, because this is why I say, what are some of those contracts too? We know about relationships like Finastra and Ripple. We know about them. We know about Bank of America. We're not supposed to, but we know about it. We know PNC is the first North American United States bank to have a partnership with Ripple, right? We know Standard Chartered to partner with Ripple. So we know all of these connections between major payment systems like FedNow, the Clearinghouse, which is a huge repository. We know about the EU system. We know about all of these things. But we don't know all the details, and that's for a very special reason. Again, when I think about these things and where we are, and this is the last piece to the case. I know we may know about Finastra, but think of what we don't know about is the point. And it's obvious. I wouldn't want people to know about my competition, know what I'm doing either, and how I'm doing it. I wouldn't want them to know it. Because the truth is I feel like XRP is money, and it always has been. And when it comes to money and introducing a new money to the world, you get one shot to introduce new money to the world. And it just may be that Ripple had to give some of the biggest players in the world some of XRP, because it ain't money unless everyone agrees that it's money. That's why I believe there is a strong chance with the introduction of automated market makers and other things like pathfinding and other things that can develop because of this. The stabilization mechanism of the automated market makers and liquidity pools can bring. This may change the way regulators look at XRP itself. And that's why I'm very curious as to whether it could fall into, at some point, the designation of a stablecoin or a global stablecoin. We shall see, but this is one of the most exciting things I've ever watched in my life, and I couldn't be more sincere about anything I've ever said. This is absolutely fascinating to watch. All right, it's the Freedom Zone. Now, today, I just want to tell you that there won't be a Freedom Zone today, but what I do want to leave you with is this. For the rest of this month of March, anyone buying a ticket will qualify for a very special dinner with Digital Asset Vestor and myself, and it is going to be a very nice dinner. We already have it booked, and we can't tell you where because you can't find out unless you're going to be the one chosen. But you and a very special other +1 will be invited to have dinner with us and some other special guests from our private group. And we are going to have a wonderful time, and we're so looking forward to meeting you. And I want you to do me a favor, just like you've done for Digital Asset Investor. Join the Freedom Zone and give me the reason why you should be picked and your plus one should be picked to have dinner with us and the rest of the crew, because we're looking to round out that table and we are going to be picking a very special guest. And I hope it's you. So make sure you go to digitalperspectives.com, join the Freedom Zone for next to nothing, and come on in. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.